Yeah, yeah, good evening all. So in the last class, I was just briefing you about introduction to Azure Data Engineer. Right, cloud is majorly utilized for storing, analyzing, and delivering data in various form. So if we go with on-premises databases, we need to set up our own hardware infrastructure. On top of that, OS installation, purchasing database license, installation of database server, designing database objects. To maintain all this, we require separate teams like hardware team, operating system team, networking team, security team, database administrators, data engineers with the help of cloud services, data engineers with the help of cloud services. They work on the data and make it structured and useful. Data engineers with the help of cloud services, they work on the data and make it structured and useful. Data engineers responsible for smooth data flow from the source to destination. Data engineer responsible in preparing data, cleansing data, transforming data, and processing data. Data scientist strategizes for the future. Data analyst summarizes the past. Data scientist analyze the data, identify the patterns, is going to identify the patterns, recommendations for the future. Right. Data analyst summarizes the past, analyze the data, summarizes the data of the past. Visualizing the data, data analyst summarizing the past, analyze the data, summarize the data of the past, visualizing the data. Data engineer does all the groundwork for the data scientist and data analyst. More than 80% of the data analysis work is done by data engineers. Data engineering involves what are the sources of the data, what is the format of the data, how to transform data, and what is the destination of the data, that is the target. And why Azure Data Engineer in demand and role of Azure Data Engineer. So role of Azure Data Engineer, right? Designing the entire data flow architecture, right? Creating data warehouse for the storage of analytical data. ETL, extract, transform, and load is the key task of Azure Data Engineer. Data monitoring, data security, collaboration and communication, analytics. See, data monitoring. What do you mean by data monitoring? Right. Data engineers make sure that the ETL is performed in a proper way and data is available anywhere and everywhere where it is required. Data security is also a major responsibility of data engineers. Data needs to be secure at each step of the process without any leaks or exposure. Collaboration and communication. Data engineers have to constantly communicate with the business team. They're constantly communicating with the business team to check if the team, what is the data requirement of it, and also with the data scientist in in delivering the data as per the requirement. And analytics, they need to have some analytics knowledge, strong analytical and mathematical skills to perform analysis. Automation, they have to automate certain processes which require minimal human intervention, right? Such as data extraction, right? Azure data engineering products I was discussing in the last class. Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure Data Factory, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Databricks, Azure Cosmos DB, Azure Streaming, and Azure Key Vault. Hmm. Azure SQL, it is a cloud or DBMS of Microsoft in Azure. It is for OLTP operation. It is not for data warehouse. Data lake, Azure Data Lake. Distributed file system with unlimited data storage in the cloud. That is what a data lake. I can say it is a repository. Data lake, right? It is a repository of large, it is a repository of large varieties of large varieties of structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data. This is a repository of large varieties of structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data. Azure Data Factory. It is a cloud-based ETL of Microsoft in Azure. So, okay, I'll come back to this data factory. I'll come back to this data factory, but Azure Synapse. Talk about this Azure Synapse. Cloud or DBMS. Azure Synapse, right? Here we have a database called, here we have a database called Azure Synapse. SQL Pool DB. Here we have a database called Azure Synapse. SQL Pool DB. In a simple way, we say Synapse DB. Synapse DB, right? What is Synapse DB? What is Synapse DB? Cloud Data Warehouse of Azure. What is Synapse DB? Cloud Data Warehouse. Mm. When to go for Azure Data Lake? When to go for Azure Data Lake? When to go for Azure Data Lake and when to go for Azure Synapse? Both are in the place of data warehouse. Both are in the place of data warehouse. Both are in the place of data warehouse, but Azure Synapse, Azure Synapse, if data is structured. We go for Azure Synapse if data is structured. Azure Data Lake, Azure Data Lake, if data is unstructured. If data is unstructured and semi-structured. If data is unstructured and semi-structured, go for this. Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory, right? If you are taking OLTP systems at one side, you're taking OLTP systems. And if you are taking data warehouse at the other side. What are the things which comes in OLTP? Azure SQL is an OLTP. And what are the things which comes in data warehouse? Azure Data Lake comes in this. Azure Data Lake, it's a distributed file system, and also like Azure Synapse. In OLTP systems, if you talk Azure SQL, Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, MongoDB, all this comes under OLTP systems. And which are the things which comes in data warehouse? Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse, Cloud DBMS for data warehouse. And if we talk Teradata, Netija, Vertica, Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse, Teradata, Netija, Vertica, all this comes in data. Where ADF will come? ADF. ADF doesn't come in OLTP. ADF doesn't come in OLTP. ADF doesn't come in data warehouse. ADF acts as an ADF will be between. See, OLTP systems data where this data ADF will be means it acts as a mediator between this OLTP and data warehouse. Acts as an integration service. Acts as an integration service between OLTP systems and data warehouse systems. Acts as an integration service between OLTP systems and data warehouse systems. ADF acts as an integration service between OLTP systems and data warehouse systems. Integration service between OLTP and data warehouse systems. ADF is a data integration service. See, all transactions, if we talk about all transactions, captured at OLTP systems. How to bring these transactions into warehouse systems? How to bring these transactions? How to bring these transactions into warehouse system? How to bring these transactions into warehouse system? We have ETL. We have ETL. By using ETL tools. By using ETL tools, right? What are the ETL tools? Like Informatica, Data Stage, Talent. All these are on premises. All these are on premise. ETL tools. But I need a ETL. But I need a ETL on cloud. That is what? ADF, Azure Data Factory. ADF, we can connect with the cloud databases, non-cloud databases. Okay, and NoSQL databases. Using ADF, we can extract the data, pump the data into data lake or Synapse and perform transformations. Okay. Here it is ETL. Here it is ETL. But our working style. ELT. Here it is ETL, but our working style is ELT. Extract, load, transform. But our working style is ELT. Extract, load, transform. ETL. For small volumes of data. For small volumes of data. ELT. Extract, load, and transform. For huge volumes of data. For huge volumes, ETL is bad. So this is what ADF. Okay. I was discussing about Azure Synapse, right? It's a data warehouse. It's a cloud data warehouse of Azure. It's a cloud or DBMS for data warehouse, right? For batch processing, for parallel processing. All right. Azure Database. See, first going with what is Databricks? First, you need to understand what is Databricks. Later, I'll come back to Azure Database. What is Databricks? What is Databricks? Provides a Spark cluster. What is it? It provides Spark cluster in cloud. What is a Spark? What is a Spark? Very high speed, very high speed execution model. Very high speed execution model to process huge data. Spark features, the main features of Spark, you can see, right? Spark features. First thing is mainly in-memory computation. In-memory computation. In-memory computation means the storage happening within the memory and processing happening within the memory level, right? Processing within the memory, storage within the memory. Second layer. Supports MMP, MPP, supports MPP, massive parallel process, right? Massive parallel process. In-memory computation supports MPP, massive parallel process. Like simply saying like Spark is 100 times faster than Spark is 100 times faster, 100 times faster than normal disk processing, normal disk processing. Okay. So provides a Spark cluster in the cloud. Spark provides Spark cluster. Spark cluster. Spark cluster means group of nodes. Group of nodes connected in a network. Connected in a network. Example. Assume we have 500 nodes. Assume we have 500 nodes. This 500 nodes, 500 nodes cluster is worthy 2 TB of data, 2 TB of data at a time. Tomorrow your data volume increased. If same cluster is used, speed goes down. Speed goes down. If same cluster is used, speed goes down as data volume increased. As data volume increased. So we need to scale up the cluster. We need to scale up the cluster by adding new nodes. By adding new nodes. Assume 100 nodes added. Assume 100 nodes added. Again after 2 months. Again after 2 months. Again 100 nodes added. Again after 2 months, again 100 nodes added. Every time. Scaling up the physical data center. Every time scaling up the physical data center is a complex task. So previously data increasing with small amount, but today data increasing by large amount. That's why I need the same cluster. I need the same cluster in cloud, and that too with auto scaling capability. Auto scaling capability means increasing as per the requirement. Who is providing this? Databricks. Who is providing this? Databricks. Databricks. What is that? Databricks. Spark Cloud Cluster. With auto scaling feature. Spark Cloud Cluster with auto scaling feature. For example, check this. Today my load 100 nodes. Today my load requires 100 nodes. Tomorrow data volume increased. Tomorrow data volume increased. It has to be extended to 200 automatically. Today my load requires 100 nodes. Tomorrow data volume increased. It has to be extended to 200 automatically, right? Yes. After processing is completed, again it has to revert back to 100 nodes, right? Yes. Tomorrow data volume increase, it has to be extended to 200 automatically. After processing is completed, again it has to revert back to 100 nodes. This is general Databricks. This is general Databricks. It cannot interact with Azure Storage Services. Azure Storage Services are what? Azure Storage Services are Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse, regular Databricks is not compatible to all the Azure services. A regular Databricks is not compatible with all the Azure services. That's why That's why Microsoft, that's why Microsoft and Databricks collaboratively, yes. Microsoft and Databricks collaboratively launched a new product, launched a new product called Azure Databricks, called Azure Databricks. That's why Microsoft and Databricks collaboratively launched a new product called Azure Databricks. What is Azure Databricks? Azure Databricks. It is a Spark cluster, right? I can say Azure Databricks, it is a Spark cluster, right? With auto scaling, and compatible. All the Azure data compatible with all the Azure data storage services, compatible with all the Azure data. That's why Microsoft and Databricks collaboratively launched a new product called Azure Databricks. It is a Spark cluster with auto scaling and compatible with all the Azure data storage services. Normal Databricks, we need to do a lot of other settings. We need to call different APIs. Databricks, not only available for Azure, but also available for AWS and for Google. In Databricks, In Databricks, who is processing the data? Spark. To execute Spark, we need a cluster. That too with auto scaling feature, compatible with all the Azure storage services that is provided with Databricks. Spark. So here in Azure Databricks, Spark is the execution weapon. You are the developer to provide instructions to process the data in the form of coding, right? Yes. Yeah, yes. In most Databricks applications, PySpark is the majority of the code. Currently, most of the projects are available in PySpark. Currently, industry is taking two separate developers. Right? One is Databricks. For Databricks, separate developer. Right? Yes. And for ADF, separate developer. Azure Data Factory, separate developer, right? Developer, right? Yes. But in the future, you need to have the knowledge in both. Initially, you can get into the company with any of this. Right. So if you talk about this area, we have got the concept of data flows used to perform some transformations using this data flows without any code, zero coding ETL tool, zero coding ETL ADF. In ADF, zero coding ADF tool, right? Yes. So as part of this course, this is the course content I'm going to discuss. ADF Data Factory, Azure Data Factory. You can just go through this course content, right? Link service, dataset, activities, triggers, integration runtime, source control, nearly 50 exercises, ADF exercises I'm going to discuss, and Databricks. Before going with Databricks, introduction to big data, Hadoop, Spark, cloud computing, Azure, and creating Azure Databricks service, cluster management, Databricks utilities, Databricks integration, Databricks handling multiple file formats, Databricks batch processing, streaming API, right? And Azure Synapse. Introduction and overview, these things. Using Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure account integration with Azure Synapse, incremental load, loading with deep dive into copy activity, data flow introduction. So these things. So you'll be getting the session videos of each and everything, soft copy of the class notes, clear soft copy of the notes, and WhatsApp group for technical discussions, assignments and tasks to work with, and previously asked interview questions, right? Yes. Yeah. Any other queries, right? From tomorrow, the link is going to be changed, right? Yes, from tomorrow, the link will be changing. You are supposed to get enrolled. So you'll be getting the link to your mail ID. And if you got enrolled, don't forget to share the screenshot of your payment to that mail ID provided by the online team, DURGASOFT online training, right? See, can you see in that a big message is given by the online team, their contact details, the payment details. And if you see DURGASOFT online training at gmail.com, where you need to send the screenshot of your payment so that you will be they'll be forwarding the link to you. So tomorrow the link changes, right? With a new link will be okay. From tomorrow we'll be starting with ADF session, right? Along with this ADF, Azure Databricks and Synapse, I'm going to discuss about data lake, Azure SQL, Azure Cosmos, other things, right? Yes, some query was asked. We will get access for practice, Azure access. So how to get that free trial? Just I'll be discussing freely. I'll be discussing, right, step by step how you can get the access for this Azure free trial. Yes, Prakash, right? Praveen, you can get that free access. Okay, as a step by step, I'll discuss about it, right? In the next session, coming session. So everything will be understandable. It will be very simple and easy. Need to attend the sessions regularly. And don't forget about that session timings, right? Initially, for the first 1 week to 10 days, it will be at 4 p.m. I said. Later, the session timings will be at 5 p.m. 5 to 6, it will be after 1 week or 10 days. Up to the end of the course, the same timings. There won't be any change, right? Yes. Any other queries, right? Yes. If there are no other queries, I'm signing off for now. Meet you tomorrow. Yes. At 4 o'clock, right? Yes. Fine. Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you tomorrow. Bye.